Hey, welcome to the after show. We're doing this after show. We're so excited you're here. This is Calvin Worthy, your host, aka Big Calvin, aka Mr. Wordsmith, aka Daddy. Sometimes I get called that one too. Like, what? That means I know I'm about to lose some money. I know when that one comes. What?
Okay, there you go.
Where my money? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed our previous show. We're going to continue talking about Patrick over here. He's going to give us some more information updates, how we can stay abreast of this situation here that's going on with the reparations. The reparations, because they're going to talk about it.
So explain to them.
Because they're going to talk about talking about it.
Yeah, that's that.
At this point, the HR 40. HB 40.
Yeah. So that's HP, so it's House Proposal.
House Proposal.
Yeah, because it's just a proposal.
So we got it's just a proposal. It's just a proposal, peoples.
And what they're proposing is that we have a discussion about reparations instead of actually how can we pay the reparations.
Yeah.
We just want to have that discussion. What I was saying earlier with the bill that Reagan signed, you can look it up. It's the Civil Liberties Act of 1988. Okay, so when you pull that one up, you'll see everything that we're talking about as far as the reparations that the Japanese Americans received for being in the internment camps from 1942, I think, to 46 or somewhere up in that area. So, but the biggest difference there is that it wasn't about the money because the descendants only got $20,000. But now, don't get me wrong. Now, of course, $20,000 in 1983. You could start a business. You could do a couple of different things with it. So it did set you up to do that. But now what was more important than the $20,000 was what the government admitted to as far as the treatment of the Japanese Americans. So one, they admitted that they violated and basically trampled over their human rights, not their civil rights, their human rights. Okay. And if you can recall, that was one thing that Malcolm X said that he was going to charge the U.S. with in the UN.
With the UN, that's right.
You know, as far as your human rights, not your civil rights, your human rights. Yeah. So that's why that's important, because what it did for them is that it restored them to a certain status, right? So you have Caucasians and you have Asians. So which means they're almost like I said, after I read it, I said to me, it's like being put on an endangered species list, right? So you can't be touched, you know. So you can walk through here and you can do certain things.
So you can live on the earth. So you can live.
You can live.
Just so you can live.
Just so you can live.
Somebody got to write something on a piece of paper just so somebody.
Just for context, that's how much 20,000 would be.
Lord, everybody said.
Okay, so 51 million.
And we got to ask.
51.
We about to propose.
Almost 52,000.
Yeah, almost. Oh, 50. Okay, 52,000. Okay, yeah. Okay.
A conversation. We about to propose.
So that's how much 20,000 would be today.
So $20,000 in 1983 is $51,601.20 today.
That's still enough to start a business.
That's still enough to get some land.
It affords you the ability to get land, housing, but then also what it does that we don't understand is that it means that you're no longer a risk. Right? I don't see you this way.
Yeah.
So instead of me having these or harboring these ill feelings, the government is now saying, no. Listen, we take the hit on this one, right? we wrong for treating them this way. They're not bad. Yeah. It was our fault.
Yeah.
Now, imagine how that would go if you take that back and you said, okay, you keep your money. But now, don't get me wrong, we need the money. So I'm not saying don't take the money for it. We ain't going to do the Starbucks thing.
Give me the money.
Give me the money. But if you go back and you get the U.S. government to tell you that they apologized and they were wrong and they were admittedly wrong, but they don't just tell you this, they tell the world this. Mm-hmm. See, that changes everything. That changes everything.
Did they apologize for slavery at some point ago? It was a time that somebody stood up on the floor and apologized.
Sure, it wasn't Obama.
It was somebody got up there and was like, "We are sorry."
Oh, you sure?
And then they moved on. It was like the next thing. I remember watching it on C-SPAN.
Well, we know it wasn't Trump.
Somebody was like, "We're really sorry,
Or
really,
was it
really,
Clinton?
really sorry." It may have been
It
during.
may have been Clinton.
It may have been during that. We're really, really sorry.
Yeah,
It was a
he started
long,
locking us
really
up.
sorry letter.
Well, I mean, but even if theirs wasn't like that. So it listed all the ills that they performed. So it wasn't that.
Yeah, I know. There was no
sorry. It's
change. There was
we
no
sorry
change to the
because,
condition.
Yeah, we did this and we did that.
Yeah.
But the reason there's no change to our condition is because if you give a half-ass apology, then that's what you get in return. You know it's not real. We know it's not real. And we're not going to pretend that we know it's real. But if we take the model that was already set for us by what happened with the Japanese Americans in the internment camps, and then this is how we fight them for reparations. But what we're saying is that, understand once again, if they're telling us that the restitution that they owe us is 17.1 trillion, that puts us in a global economy to where we can be self-sufficient, and we would be the third or fourth highest economy in the world.
Wow.
So they're not going to do that.
What? That's what they're proposing on the discussion.
Well, they should be proposing to discuss that. But this is why we attack. Well, listen, I can show you how you can assure that they'll do it. You have to battle them from a position of power. You can't battle them from the position in which we stand.
Wouldn't it though? Wouldn't it? Now this is me. Wouldn't it be like good for the economy to like just throw some more money at a group of people so they can start stimulating this already dedicated? What isn't this like rocket science? Like this is too easy. Wait, shouldn't they have already allowed us to participate in this capitalistic society in such a manner? Because we could have still been.
Not if they're capitalizing off of you. If you're the tender in which they're capitalizing off of, you're the ones bringing that money to that global economy. No, because then it would not make any sense. You're right. It normally would, because you look at what Trump is doing as far as with the farmers, right? He's going around BSing people, talking about that he's doing these trades and he's on your side, but all the while he's sliding in checks saying, listen, I know I'm but I'm gonna slide you guys some loot right here to keep y'all mouth shut so you can roll with me. And then once again, a group of people who are in need, who will stimulate the economy, I'm giving them free money.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that with us, because once again, they capitalize off of us. You can't capitalize off of us.
They capitalize
off 17.1 million.
Yeah.
And then now you're the fourth largest.
We are GDP for the industry, the largest industry here, the employers, one of the largest employers outside of the government. We are GDP for that source. We are the product of the prison industrial complex.
Yeah.
Like we are it.
Yeah.
And that makes money for people. So if we get some money, we're not in scarcity anymore.
Exactly. So then that means that drops.
It's like, wait a minute.
And now you have to think of something completely different.
Now they can pay for those fines.
Yeah.
Now they
can
pay a lawyer.
They can pay a lawyer. Now this BS doesn't wash anymore.
Wait a minute, I can't put them
in
jail.
But now we know that they're not going to concede this, right? But it's a way that you can make them concede this if you understand strategies and stuff. So this is why I'm saying, let's first look at what has already been granted to us. In 1907, the Supreme Court ruled in our favor with this 1866 treaty as far as with the 5 civilized tribes. Said that no, you can't, there is no difference between you and them. So you can't tell the wheat from the tare. It's all one. But now they keep going in and changing their bylaws and their amendments to prevent us from getting this money. But if we come together collectively and understand and study and do your research on this and inform,
that's
and
all
then
we
when you do that, when you come in and you have that information, now we can fight them. But now here's the thing. We're not worried about necessarily their money, the money that they owe us. Okay? But what we do need is that land. Because don't forget, if we get the land, then we can get sovereignty just like they have, right? And then we can come from a position of power because now we own the land in which we dwell, right? And so we own that land. Now, if I'm sitting in court with you, it's no different if I go to court with you and I'm a landowner as opposed to a renter. If you're a renter, trust me, they'll kick your ass out real quick because you ain't got nothing to say about nothing.
Nothing to say about nothing.
But if you own it, we have to hear you. We have to listen to you.
Because they are dependent on you for their
exactly. Exactly. So they have to listen to
property taxes.
And so now we coming from a position of power. See,
right.
so now I can sit at the
right.
table with you.
All right.
See, but I can sit at the table with you as an equal, not as an inferior, not as a subservient individual.
Yeah.
I'm here equal with you because listen, check this out. If you ain't trying to hear my game right now, I'm just gonna go back on my land and chill for a minute.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take everything that I have with me on my land.
Or if you are killing us at alarming rates,
we go back to
we're gonna go
land.
back to and do business over there.
Exactly. See, so it eliminates a whole bunch of different things that we have to deal with.
Like
you don't have to worry about the police brutality. You don't have to worry about the kidnapping because guess what? Same as they do on the Indian reservation. If I snatch your stuff and get to that reservation, you stop. And then you look around and go, well, there go my car. I hope they bring it back because I can't go on that land and get it because they have their own rules and laws because I could be subjugated to getting my ass whooped and they miss it.
Yeah, there's a subjugation of yes.
See?
Yes.
So if we attack it from that perspective, and then all we got to do, you know, you got a lot of these organizations and stuff, they go around and they say that we need to separate from the masses and segregate in the whole 9 yards. But nobody has a plan on how to do it. It's all talk. We don't have enough money within ourselves. We can't unify over one thing. We can't even get together and decide which Girl Scout cookie we want to buy, right?
Well, historically, the land that which you speak of, like if they were to return land to copper-colored black people, you know, Negro-colored, whatever we were calling ourselves, some of this land is like major cities. These are metropolises that would have to return. You know, there are whole cities that are right now bustling that would have to be like, no, this is now the copper colored people.
I mean, technically, LA was founded by
LA, yeah, Chicago. Like there's so for them to restore land, that means that we get these cities.
Yeah, but that's that second fight. The first fight is the land that our brothers and sisters in the Navajo Nation and Native Americans have. It is reported that they have from Arizona to New Mexico is about 1,700 or 17,000 miles of nothing but space that they own.
I've driven on some of it.
See?
Beautiful land.
Exactly. So just think about this. Like I said, forget the restitution with the United States. Forget that for a minute. Let's work on, because we have to get some victories. It's been a while since we've had a victory. So let's go out and get a victory.
So there's some other land. Because I'm saying that historically that would have been our area.
Yeah.
Like Memphis would be a city that would have to get returned. There's a whole sections of Tennessee that were under the control of the Mound people.
Yeah.
Know? And so like to really get restoration via land, some major cities would be included.
Well, they would be included, but you know that once again, that's like having the same argument with the 17.1 trillion. It's there, but that's just it. It's there.
That's a number. Huh?
Yeah, that's a number. And it's there. But the reality of it is that you're probably not going to get that. And you're not going to, if so, you're not going to see it in your lifetime. Yeah. Don't forget, it's already been 400 years. They just want to have a discussion about a discussion now. So that's another 400 years that you're going to have to deal with. So
probably the only reason they're willing to do that is because we have had a black sort of president.
Exactly. Exactly. So if we just say, all right, we let you guys do what you got to do. We understand these cities and these major cities and stuff like that. But let's not take the major cities. Let's just take the thoroughways, right? Which would be that land from here to there, which would be that land in California that's owned by the Navajo Nation, the land in Oklahoma that's owned by the Seminoles and the Creeks. Let's go back there and then we can unite with them. And then listen, we can bring all the resources and the knowledge that we have over there to help you develop the land that you've been living on that you say that is barren. But we can help you develop this land. We do it as one, as a people. And just do it for the cause, you know, do it for the cause and not necessarily for the purpose, if you know what I'm saying, you know, so we just do it for the cause. The cause is that it's going to get us and it's going to stop this police brutality. It's going to stop all of this crazy stuff because now, once again, you guys keep tripping. We finna go back on our own land and we don't want you nowhere near it. And then guess what we have the ability to do?
Shoot you.
That and build a wall around it. If we choose to. So now just think about the irony of that. Just think about the irony of that. We will build one. And then when we show what lands that we literally own around here, you'll see how small your land truly
that's
is.
not that crazy. Sun City has a wall built around it.
Exactly.
So literally a city with a wall.
Yes.
Sun City, Arizona.
The first time I drove up there, I was like, "What the hell is?" It's a wall. They built a wall around Sun City West at Sun City. Yes.
You are telling me that there's a walled city in 2020?
We will take a field trip and drive up there.
Well, in Paradise Valley, they have a virtual wall because all the cactuses are fake and they're watching you.
Wow.
So that's a virtual wall. Being truthful, that's a virtual wall because, listen, they have facial recognition. They recognize plates. You get in there, and if those plates don't belong in that zip code in that area, you can best believe within a couple of minutes, what are you doing over here?
We've locked ourselves up. We have locked ourselves up, humanity.
So yeah, we have.
Every night we do it too. We're like, lock that door. Secure myself. This is where we live. This is America. We're locking everything.
Hey,
they over here taking stuff.
We've been doing that. So we've been locking
it up. Let's not end it on such a sad note.
Yeah, I know. It's just melancholy.
Ladies of my life or something.
Melancholy. I don't know what, man. Oh yeah, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. You know, you are a father, and you said something about the men's health. Mm-hmm. So I got a question for you right here. Let's keep it on the light note. We're gonna be light right here. You know what I'm saying? Cause you can jump in and tell the people too. Okay. So how have you done self-care in January? What did you do for yourself? Now, if y'all know self-care is, the terminology, I just learned it last year, so I'm just trying to
give me the
so self-care is like taking time for yourself after trauma. Like, what's your thing? What's your method to be like, yo, had a rough week, had some stuff happen, all these things,
I have one day a week where I refuse to answer my phone.
One day a week you don't answer your phone.
Mm-hmm. I will only answer it if it's a family member and it seems like an emergency.
He said seems like
answer the phone.
Keep calling me, it won't stop.
What kind of stuff do you get to do because you're not answering the phone though? What kind of do you set up intentional stuff
sleep?
You get rest? That's
I might go walk around my neighborhood.
Okay.
I might cook. Instead of trying to eat the plastic food.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up. What's up? What's your self-care, brother? January. Give us a time that you did it in January, though. You're supposed to give me what you do in January. What come up with a time that you did in January?
Mine was that we did the whole week because you can go on our Facebook page and you can see what I started off doing is that because we were talking about stress.
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest thing that we have to learn how to get rid of and throw that yoke off of us. So I started off the week by going into my gym and going through my boxing routine.
Oh.
So that gives me the ability to clear my mind. So my thing is that since my men's health is going to be different because I want to take it away from these doctors, right? I want to control my health. Right. And it's nothing more that you can't read. I mean, everything's out there for you to read.
Yeah.
As long as you can comprehend it, then you can do it. Right.
That's what's up.
So my whole thing is that I don't take any medicines or anything that they prescribe me because I don't want all that foreign stuff in my body and I don't need it having weird side effects like that. So I know that.
Did y'all fast all week?
No, we didn't. I didn't fast. But what we did was that, so we went to the gym and I went live and showed everybody the boxing routine.
Y'all go online and see the routine. Where they can go see it at?
They can go see it at the JP Realty
Solutions Facebook page.
You can go see that.
We'll put the link down there. You can click on it. We'll make sure.
So we went once a week, but our whole thing was that to show the guys that, listen, you don't need to have a gym membership to go work out. So the second one I did was that I went for a walk at the Gilbert Requiem. Right. So I went over there for a little hike just to get out in nature and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we have one Shane, he does his workout because, these guys are getting back in football. So they do a totally different type of workout from what I'm doing. Okay. And then from there, for me personally, what I do after that is that every night I block out time for self. And what I do is I reflect for the whole day.
Oh, yeah.
Because what I want to do is that I want to be able to wake up the next morning and be a better version of myself But in order for me to understand that, I have to reflect on this day to see what I could have done better, right? So let's say if it was an incident where I ran into somebody in the store or something, and I may have had an attitude or something that didn't really need it. Well, I can give you an example. I was going to my daughter's daycare where she works to give her some money, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm pulling in, parking, and I'm about to get out my car, and this guy's pulling in, and I got my door open, so I'm looking at him like, so you trying to take my door?
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's doing, but yet he don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's a brother. So we both looking at each other. So I get out, close the door. But now, because prior to me running into him, somebody cut me off in traffic. So I'm already heated, right? And so
sauce on sauce.
Yeah, I went in on him. And so I came out, and I'm just sitting there waiting, and everything back from LA, from where I grew up and how I was, came out.
Just started
so
flushing.
I'm sitting there with it. I'm waiting. What's up? It's like, excuse me? No, that ain't no excuse me today. What is up with you people? I'm tired of this. I mean, I went in on him.
Wow.
And he's like, oh no, brother, I was just, I just wanted to make sure you was gonna be okay. That's why I stopped. And then all of a sudden, everything, he'd be like, okay, now you feel stupid right now. You went in on him, and all he's trying to do is make sure you okay. Before it got, I just stopped. Once he said that, and I said, you know what, my brother, let me apologize to you, because I allowed this world to get in me.
Oh, man.
And I took it out on you. And so I apologize. And it's because, listen, you do that if you reflect on a daily basis. Because now I'm cognizant of the fact that Patrick needs to be a better person every day, a better version of himself. So when I got into it with him, and I'm talking about I was heated to the point where my daughter came out, was like, what's going on, Dad? So I was like, no, we cool.
Yeah.
But I gave him a pound. We embraced. We sat there and we talked for about 5 minutes.
That's love.
And we got to know each other.
That's what's up.
And I apologized to this man profusely because of the attitude that I had towards him. And the only thing he was doing was looking out for my safety. Yeah. But yet I thought, so like I said, so for me, then I go home for that. I block out my time.
Yeah.
And I get to me a place to where I can dim the lights, put me on some music or something, and then I just kind of meditate.
Yeah.
Just kind of zone out, and then just reflect on that whole day.
Yeah.
And then you go back and you replay every scenario that you did, everything that you did, and you pick it apart. But then you look at it, but you pick it apart from the perspective of how do I improve self? Not what everybody else did, but how do I improve myself? Because they may have had that day that I had, right?
That's what's up.
So would I have been that dude who would have been like, hey, man? Or would I have been like, all right, then
let's
go.
Yeah.
Well, what you trying to do?
Hold on, what's up, man? I'm already ready. Listen,
You
man.
know what I'm saying?
I got you, because, for me, the theft happened in January. That was just a little bit ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a regular calisthenic routine and a meditation routine I do with yoga, and just to ground myself on the floor. And, it's been a while since I had done it, but when this happened, and I felt so violent. Like I got stories of times where I've stopped things like this from happening. Like I get there in enough time, and I was really upset that I wasn't on it. I ain't have my running shoes on. I was like, it caught me. Everything caught me at a time where I was just relaxing and chilling. And I thought I hit the lock on the door. I mean, that's just what it is, man. And so I got to the crib, and I performed a calisthenic routine. That I couldn't sleep till like 4 or 5 in the morning, because when something like that happens, you're in your home, you're thinking somebody might try to violate you. You think it follows you, So I stayed up quite a bit, till early in the morning, man, and got a little bit of rest. But I was able to remember my routine. I had to go back and do my yoga and meditation. It's not yoga. I wouldn't call it yoga. It's just stretching. I do a stretching routine that I start on the ground so I can get myself lined up with the earth. And it's been helpful to get back in. But that's how life works. You got to get a kick in the pants sometimes to remember to get your body in order.
Exactly.
Get your body in order.
Yeah, because you only got one.
You only get one.
You only got one.
Yeah, and if you get two,
now you might be able to get another one though.
If you know somebody that knows somebody,
they body snatch
you
might be able to get two.
We get two. Thank you so much, good brother. Hey,
yeah.
Hey, thank you for sharing, man.
Always.
Hey, bro,
I appreciate this.
This is good, man. Y'all know this is a good place for us to go and do that. Thank you for tuning in to the after show. It's the show that's Soul Star Live that shows up on 5 o'clock on Sundays at RadioPhoenix.org and right here on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, share, and post some comments. You know what I'm saying? If y'all really, you know what I'm saying, you can actually
start the discussion.
Why don't we, hear a little bit from you about what y'all be doing to get yourselves right after the world unturned y'all on into some craziness. So thank you so much for listening in, and good night.
All right. I got to skate on up out of here.